Are you a mom that has sensed this gap between you and your adult child, or maybe you're fully estranged from them right now? Either way, this video is for you because today I'm going to break down a couple of the reasons why estrangement happens. And first of all, I want to let you know that you are not alone in this because it can feel so isolating and feel hopeless in the sense of the fact that you feel like this relationship could never be restored. And that is just not the case. And so I want to start off by telling you that. And also, like I said, you are not alone. I went through this with my daughter, and I'll be really honest with you that I never thought that we would reconcile. I really didn't feel that she would come back to her family. Not because we're horrible people or that she's a horrible girl. It's the sense of many times it has more to do with your child than it does you. And we're going to dive into that today as well. So first of all, the first thing I want to talk about is communication breakdown. Communication breakdown is of the utmost importance as far as you looking back and thinking, okay, how can I improve my communication in general, but with my adult child? These communication barriers that we have as moms, many times, that can be the heightened issue of why your adult son or daughter is having a struggle with you or the family, right? Because they want to be heard, and communication is not just about talking. In fact, it's more about listening than it is talking. And I know that we talk about this a lot, but it can always be reinforced because it is so crucial. If you aren't listening to what someone has to say, many times, most of us are too busy thinking about what the next thing we're going to say is, to the point where we're not listening to the person who's talking. And that, our children are no different. That is definitely something that many moms and people just in general struggle with. So I want you to just take inventory, take note of this kind of stuff about how you can improve that. That is one thing to just consider. This list is not meant to have you feel shame or guilt. This is about observation. This is about taking note about where improvement can happen, okay? The second one is differing values. In today's world, there's a lot of differing values that go on. And if you haven't noticed, in the past 10, 15, 20 years, this has been happening more and more and more with our kids. And so there are a lot of values that maybe you instilled in your children while they were growing up because you felt, for your personal opinion, that was the best value for them, right? You did it out of love. And even though they may feel like it was forced upon them, you did it because you felt it was the right thing to do. Okay, so a lot of times that clashes with who they become as they become adults, and that they are not choosing that same path. Whether it's employment, whether it's religion, whether it's, other types of faith, or how they handle different situations. So those values, many times family values, but really personal values, those things, those navigations of those differences can really cause a lot of conflict within families, right? So that is another situation that could definitely be causing some of the barrier here. And I just want to mention to you, we talk about self-care a lot, and because it is one of the most crucial pieces that you can do for yourself right now going through this, and I created a self-care GPS action plan, and you can access it below. It is created as a PDF guide for you, but I created a mini course out of it, and you can access it for just $7, and it is located below because self-care is that important, in my opinion, for you to be working on at all times in order for you, not just for the reconciliation of your family, but it all starts with us. I can only change me. You can only change you, right? And your son or daughter can only change themselves. So I hope you can get some benefit out of that. If you choose to, you can find that in the link below in the notes. The third part of this that happens a lot in families is unresolved past issues. So past conflict, past traumas that linger on into our present relationships is huge. We're always looking for resolution. We want to encourage acknowledgement of what their perceived, thing is in regards to that situation. Your son or daughter's perception is very likely going to be different than yours, and you have to be okay with that. Doesn't mean they're right, doesn't mean you're right. But the fact is, when you take that communication skills, the listening skills, and you apply that to some of these past issues, many times they just want to be heard, they want to be understood, and maybe we learn something in the process. And so that's just really crucial that we do that. The importance of forgiveness in this aspect is so healing for both you and your child. Again, I know that for some of you, this is just heartbreaking because you're saying, yeah, but Sally, my son or daughter won't even talk to me about these things. They've shut down. They've shut down because they don't know how else to handle the situation with what they've got going on inside of themselves, is very frequently the case. Again, this is not a cookie cutter approach. Every family is different. And if anyone tells you different, it's just not accurate. Because what works for one family is not necessarily going to work for the other. However, there are some universal truth in regards to how you handle things as a mom, as a woman. Like, you taking care of yourself is the first step. So in this video, the fourth issue that I want to talk about is parenting styles, right? Parenting styles clash. I mentioned earlier that you may be a mom who has, you raised them with certain values because that's what you would believe and that's what you thought was best, and that's totally okay, right? Our parents did the best that they could, and I know that you likely did the best that you could, and you have to give yourself some grace in that. But as our children grow up, they're finding, especially if they've become parents of them, of their own kids, they're finding that I didn't really like that about you, Mom. I really want to raise my kids differently. I think we all do that generation after generation. We find some common ground of things that we did like how we were raised. And then there's always some things you're like, yeah, I might do that a little bit differently with my own kids. And that's okay. But we have to respect each other's parenting choices. Our children are not cookie cutters of us, just like we're not of our parents. And so respecting that is going to go a long ways. And so I just want to encourage you to open conversations, lessen the expectations, and make sure you do have your boundaries up in regards to your relationship with your adult children when necessary, right? It's not just about our kids, but we need to have boundaries up around all relationships in our life to make sure that we stay safe. And it also helps them know how far and where to push us in the relationship, right? So I hope those 4 tips helped you today. I'll see you in the next video.